Commence primary ignition.
Welcome to Unlimited Power. My name is D-Rod, and thank you so much for watching one of my pre-release guides for Star Wars Unlimited's newest set, Legends of the Force. Now, in this guide, we're going to be focusing on the leader and their unique ability and commons and uncommons found within the set that work well with this leader. Yes, there's probably a rare or legendary or two that also pair well with your leader, but because you're limited on the amount of packs that you're opening, we're going to be focusing on the cards that you're going to have more access to within your card pool. And don't forget to enter my Guess the Showcase giveaway that we're going to be running, where you can win a custom merch bundle that includes dice, tokens, and token holders. All you have to do is guess which showcase leader I'm going to pull from the Carbonite case live on July 5th on stream. There's a link in the description below with more details on how you can sign up. Because we're likely to pull more than one type of showcase, there can be multiple winners. With that said, let's go ahead and look at this Legends of the Force leader. From the High Republic novels, we see the new command leader in Star Wars Unlimited, Avar Kriss. Avar has a really unique ability here, so let's go ahead and take a look. As an action, you can exhaust them to create a Force token. As an epic action, if the number of resources you control plus the number of times you used the Force this phase is 9 or more, deploy this leader. Okay, so let's break this down before we move into the leader unit. The number of resources you control, that's normal. We see that all the time. So that means at most we need 9 resources to deploy Avar Kriss. However, if we can use the Force multiple times, we're going to lower that number. So if you have 4 resources, you need to use the Force 5 times in a turn. There are ways of doing this by playing cards that can use the Force, or by attacking with units that will use the Force, that will create Force tokens for you, and then finding ways of using the Force throughout that. So you're going to have your own way of generating this and timing out how early you can put out Avar Kriss. Now, when she is deployed, she's a 4/10 unit, and if you happen to have the Force, she actually gets +4 and Overwhelm. So she's an 8/10. Let's start taking a look at some key card abilities that will work well with this character. The first one's going to be Shatterpoint. Shatterpoint's a 4-cost event that allows you to choose one of its 2 abilities. You can either defeat a non-leader unit with 3 or less remaining HP, or use the Force, and if you do, defeat a non-leader unit. It uses the Force. It's a great event. These are the type of cards you want to look for. If they're lower cost, the better. Another one is Venestra Row. Venestra Row has the ability that says, when played, you may use the Force, and if you do, ready the unit. Since your bases will trigger when a Force unit attacks, Venestra Row means you can play her, use the Force token, then attack the next action, create a Force token, and have one available for another card. And then you see that again in a card like Unleash Rage. It's a low-cost event that says, use the Force, and if you do, give a friendly unit +3/+0 for the phase. You want to find these lower-cost cards that are going to help you use the Force as many times as you can. When you have 4 resources, you need to do this 5 times. If you have 5 resources, you need to do this 4 times. Just kind of remember that it's always going to be the amount of resources you have is going to dictate how many times you need to use the Force. The sooner you can use it, the more advantage you have over your opponent, especially in a sealed format like this. Let's take a look at some of the commons and uncommons within the set that will work well. In the command aspect, we see the Jedi Consular. They're a 2-cost unit that says as an action you can use the Force and play a unit from your hand, and it costs 2 less. This could allow you to put different units into play that would be harder, units that could create the Force easily, or anything like that. The Dagoan Master is another Force unit that says when played, you may use the Force, and when defeated, you may use the Force to search for the top 5 cards of your deck for a Force unit, reveal it, and draw it. Keeping cards in your hand is going to be important. You really don't want to lose momentum here with Avar, so you're going to want to keep putting units into play and taking advantage of the Force token, and so cards like the Dagoan Master here are super helpful with that because they can trigger the abilities for you, they can use the Force for you, and they can refill your hand. In the vigilance aspect, we see Chirrut, who is a 4-cost 3/5 with Sentinel that says when attacked, you may use the Force to lower your the attacking unit's overall attack by 2. And Plo Koon, who says when the Force is with you, he gains grit. You may have the Force sitting with you for a bit from time to time, or again, you can just turn that on with Avar Kriss really easily and hit your opponent for a lot. I believe we can hit it for up to what 13 damage, so it can be pretty dangerous. In the cunning aspect, we see Jedi Sentinel that says when the Force is with you, it gains Sentinel, so you can take advantage of that. Or you can play a low-cost event, then use the Force to either, so you may play Impossible Escape, and if you use the Force or exhaust friendly unit, you may exhaust an enemy unit and draw a card. So I think there's a great benefit there. You're drawing, you're taking care of an attacker, and you're using the Force token. All for one. Another great one-cost event that uses the Force is Sorcerer's Blast. If you do, deal 3 damage to a unit. Or Kiadi Mundi, who says when played, draw 2 cards by using the Force. For the hero aspect, none of these cards are going to use the Force, but they're just strong units to play, with Jedi Vector being something that gets stronger for every if you have a Jedi and upgrade in play, and the Gungan Warrior, which is shielded and has Restore 1 as a low-cost unit. For the non-aspect, I'm going to recommend Curious Flock. You may take you a while to put out Avar Kriss, and the Curious Flock has the ability to only get stronger when you play it. You can pay up to a certain amount of resources, and for each resource paid this way, you give an experience token to this unit. You can make it a 4/4 or 5/5. And then Last Words, which is a 2-cost event that says if a friendly unit was defeated this phase, give 2 more experience tokens, or 2 experience tokens to another unit in play. This can help you strengthen some of the units you have. Again, the more units you have in play, the more likely you can trigger more using the Force cards. Every time one of your Force units attacks, you should be able to get a Force token, and you can run that cycle. So let me know if you end up playing Avar Kriss at your local pre-release event. She is a little bit of a high piloting character, but maybe you'll have fun with her and get the cards you need. Let me know what aspect you played, what were some of the bombs, and how well you did in the comments below. Thanks again for watching this video. Good luck at your local pre-release, and may the Force be with you.